Okay. I don't know how I'm gonna be able to record while trying to figure out the directions of where I'm supposed to go. Because we're going to watch a show today and I'm running late, low key. Should be there right now. But yeah, my coach wants me to join him to watch a show for the first time so I can kind of get a sense of holy fucking so I can get a sense of what a show actually is and what I should expect, which I think is a good idea. So yeah, we're going, and yeah. So the poll that I put on my story a couple of days ago, most of you wanted me to talk about food and weight loss. So before I, dive into it, I am lazy by nature. I'm pretty lazy. So I wanted to lose weight, not on this cut during prep, but my first cut, lose weight not as quick, but as efficiently as possible, and without actually thinking too much through it. So I'll tell you what I did, and hopefully you can do the same thing as me, because it worked. I was able to drop like 7-8 kg in a good amount of time. The first thing that you should do, and this is probably the most tedious part, is log every single thing. If you've never tracked before, literally every single thing. Like, I'm not talking about like, oh, today I had like one New York strip. No, like I had the New York strip with HP barbecue sauce with a handful of sweet potatoes, for example, condiments, drinks, food, snacks, literally everything that you put in your mouth for 2 weeks, log. If you can do, ideally 2 weeks, but if you can't, then do 1 week. Why are we doing this as the first step? Because we underestimate like crazy how much we're actually consuming. So we think, yeah, bro, I'm eating like 2K. And then you track your shit for 2 weeks and it's like, yo, low-key, I was actually eating like 3.2. So you don't actually realize like what you're eating. You go out to restaurants, write down the menu item that you're fucking eating, and then go on ChatGPT, type in what's the estimate of a fucking ribeye steak or a like bacon hamburger at this place. And then some restaurants will actually have the calorie information, especially if it's a chain. They'll have the information up. But if it's not, you can still get a very accurate estimate. So that's the first thing. So once you come to the epiphany that you're low-key a fat ass, because that's what I realized, right? I would have like, holy shit, like 250 grams of pasta or 200 grams of pasta for one meal. So once you realize you're actually doing that, you're like, holy shit, now it's time for me to actually lock in. So that's the bad part. Now, comes the lazy part, which is for the entirety of the cut. For the entirety of the cut, I did not weigh myself a single time. I don't know if you guys heard that, but I'm gonna repeat. For the entirety of the cut, I did not weigh myself. I waited until the end of the cut. There's a couple reasons why I did this. The first reason is I didn't want to let the number that I saw on the scale get into my head. So, if I saw like the weight go up over a week and I'd just be like, what am I doing wrong? I wanted to avoid that. Second, the physical change is more important than the number on the scale. I ask this to all my clients every single time. They're like, I want to get to 80 kg. I'm like, okay, why 80 specifically? And then they'll be like, because I think that when I get to 80 kg, I'll look like this. I'm like, okay, so it's not that you actually want to get to 80 kg, it's that you want to look like this and you think that's what 80 kg looks like. Okay, cool. Now that we've established that. So if I were to tell you, you can look like that, but you'll be the same way you are right now, would you care? 99% of the time, the answer is no, right? If you are able to achieve the physique that you want, but you weigh 10 kg heavier, you would probably not care. So it's not the weight that actually matters, but how you look. My bad, guys. I had to cut there because I didn't know where I was going directions wise. But yeah, as I was saying, I did not weigh myself for 2 months, and that definitely helped, bro. I was just looking at what I saw in the mirror and letting that determine whether or not I was far enough into the cut, because I had a image in my mind of what I wanted to look like, and I just kept going till I got there. So I would advise you to hide your scale, throw it in the garbage, or if you don't have one yet, don't buy one. I hear a lot of people say like, yeah, bro, but I need to know how fast I'm dropping and shit. But like, in that case, weigh yourself once a week. Don't weigh yourself every day, because that gets in your head a lot. There's a lot of reasons why you might go up or down. Bad sleep, you have more carbs than usual, so you're storing water. Bro, the list goes on. And last but not least, the surefire way to actually lose weight properly is to eat the same foods or similar foods on a consistent basis. Because, bro, if you're eating the same foods, you no longer have to track. You just know 200 grams or like 100 grams of rice is this much. 200 grams of salmon is this much. It doesn't get any, more complicated than that. And then unless you're absolutely drenching your entire bowl of food with sauce, or if you're using something high calorie like mayonnaise, then you should track that. But because I was able to eat the same foods on a consistent basis, desserts and fast food never left the diet for me. And like, I wasn't prepping or anything, right? So I wasn't too focused on eating extremely clean. But I was having frozen yogurt, ice cream, cookies, burgers, consistently. Of course, there was portion control, and I wasn't having as much as I used to, but I was still having them. So this idea that you have to completely get rid of these foods in order for you to lose weight and you just suffer is not true whatsoever. And I was extremely lazy with it, bro. Extremely lazy with it. I didn't weigh myself. I just focused on what I saw in the mirror. I lifted hard as fuck. I didn't let the intensity slip, even though I was on a bit of lower energy because I had to cut calories. And I actually familiarized myself with my habits prior to starting the cut. How much was I actually eating? Like, get that ego thing out of your head where you're like, I can't be eating that much. No, bro, I was a fat piece of shit. Like, I was fat. So, like, get that through your head, where you're like, nah, bro, like, 2 pizzas is nothing. Like, motherfucker, what do you mean? Like, come on, no, like, that's a lot of food, bro. And that's mainly the 3 things that I did, and I would recommend to anybody who's trying to lose weight, is that being lazy and just sticking to the same shit because you can't be asked can actually be an extremely effective strategy. Like, extremely effective. So yeah, of course, this is just my anecdotal experience and won't necessarily represent what works for everybody, but I share what works with me in hopes of someone just being like, fuck, let me try that, and then it actually working out for them. So yeah, we're on the way to the show right now. Need like 10 minutes, almost there. Pretty excited. So yeah, man, that's pretty much it. We're getting one step closer to the show. And yeah, we'll keep running these videos for as long as possible, hopefully even after prep. Oh yeah, take care, guys.